Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Boy, things get real sticky. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV, every time we go live, or every time we update you on a story that we have already covered. Okay, right now the headline this morning that's catching everyone's eyes is Vybz Kartel is back on the cops' radar again. The probe would have been launched into alleged murder orders from prison. So the other day when we hear say Vybz Kartel, we heard that Vybz Kartel allegedly ordered 3 murders, 2 of which was carried out and 1 which they missed, which was on a popular entertainer. There's a lot of stuff going around out there. He said, she said, I believe this, I believe that. We're trying to deal with the facts. Based on that, which is a testimony in the Clansman trial from one of the persons who used to be a member, who has now decided to turn state and testify against everybody to get some time for themselves off, or as they said, they are helping to clean up Jamaica. All right. When I saw that first break, I'm going to read to you what it is now. All right. But when I saw that story first break, I actually said to you, I said, listen, there is no way that the law can look at this individual and deem them as a credible witness and at the same time ignore some of the bombshells they are dropping, like the information about Vybz Kartel ordering these murders. So most definitely, I feel like an investigation was going to come, and it might and could lead to what don't look good for Vybz Kartel. As you know, he has been incarcerated now for a decade, and his case is being appealed. It currently sits at the highest courts, which is in the UK, London, at the Privy Council. All right. So right now, if the Privy Council says dash out the case here, Vybz Kartel would have walked out of prison. If the Privy Council says, hey, we have reason to see that whatever you did was good, uphold the sentence, then he won't be coming out of prison for another 20 odd years according to how he was sentenced, because Kartel has to do 35 years behind bars before he is considered for parole. Remember, I know? I'm not going to talk about how man killed 4 people out here the other day and 2 persons the other day and got less time than Vybz Kartel. Everybody love Lizard, I guess. He was the most important. But not say none of that still, because if I'm my brother and somebody kill him, I would have want some justice also. But as I've maintained from the beginning of all this, that court case with Vybz Kartel was botched up and never went down properly, and this is where we sit. So the bombshell testimony that Vybz Kartel has ordered murder hits on 3 persons from behind bars may have already placed the notorious entertainer on the police radar for investigation before it was made public, a senior police officer has signaled. Here's the thing. Some people are under the impression that he allegedly made these requests from Outer Road before he went to prison. So a lot of us are saying, well, damn, he's been in prison for a decade now, so how come now is when this is coming out? Others are saying, no, it's from behind bars that he made those requests. Well, you know me, if he made those requests from behind bars, then it must have been done through a telephone, correct? That's what the person who is testifying said. Him said, Kartel tell me that personally over the phone. So now we have to say, which phone was that? And where is that phone? And since this person also testified that he recorded Blackman and other Clansman members on 3 phones and turned over all 3 phones to the police, I am wondering if one of them phone they have a voice note of Vybz Kartel on it ordering hits. Because that's what they're trying, that's what it's looking like right now, right? All right. Now, according to the Gleaner today, but it is unclear whether the declarations may figure in consideration of future prosecution of Kartel for other crimes. Head of the Criminal Investigation Branch CIB Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clinton Ling said that the police would naturally have been following up on any such statement that a witness makes in court. Most naturally, which is exactly what I said. They could not ignore that. The prosecution's second witness in the Clansman Wandan gang trial made the revelation in the Home Circuit Court last week. In a Gleaner interview, Leng said that if a witness gave such testimony, it was likely that he or she would have given that in a statement before and an investigation was being carried out. That means what Leng is saying is Kartel was under their radar already before we got the news that this person was testifying that. So have them given that in a statement would have already had triggered an investigation. Now what is reported is that no names were called. That is what was reported. That is why I am saying it is likely that the investigators are already aware. No names were called. Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn declined to comment on the matter. However, attorney at law Isaac Buchanan, who is seeking to have Kartel's murder conviction overturned at the United Kingdom Privy Council, said that his client had not given him any instructions in relation to the claim that was made by the prosecution's second witness in the Clansman Wandan gang trial. Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, was convicted along with fellow entertainer Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John for the August 16, 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams in Havendale, St. Andrew. However, Buchanan is of the view that the witness testimony in the Clansman Wandan gang trial was not likely to have any bearing on Kartel. This is his attorney saying that that testimony is not likely to have any bearing on him. I don't know, I have a different theory. But we're going to talk about that as we get to the end of this. Buchanan, who is Kartel's attorney, said that under the plea agreement law, witnesses will do whatever they need to do as a means to get their sentence reduced, which is what I've been telling my audience for the longest. So they could very well have said to him, since you have fling out all them name there already, fling Kartel name in a too. Do us a solid, we do you a solid. Or we can take a statement them in my youth and still sink you, Alright, so here we are. I'm saying it's just a possibility, thinking outside the box. Just like his lawyer just said, under the plea agreement law, witnesses will do whatever they need to do as a means to get their sentence reduced, which is what these witnesses are doing. So I don't buy that whole talk about helping to clean up Jamaica stuff. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, said that he would not comment on the specific claim that was made against Kartel during the current gang trial. This is sticky because you have Department of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn, and then you have the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, and nobody is willing to comment on what that witness said about Vybz Kartel in court. I find that kind of weird. However, Samuda did say that he was standing by earlier pronouncements that he and the portfolio minister, Dr. Harish Chan, had made that incarcerated gangsters had been calling murder hits on persons from behind bars. You hear that? He said he is still standing by his earlier pronouncement, where they did say that incarcerated gangsters had been calling murder hits on persons out a road from behind bars. We don't need any vindication or validation of what we have said. We are sure that it is indeed the case that there are persons behind bars who would do everything in their power to continue to run their criminal enterprise, which includes maiming and murdering of Jamaicans. Samuda said in a Gleaner interview late last week. Investigations ongoing. Asked whether the police had been able to press charges against incarcerated persons who have instructions to their cronies outside to commit crimes, Samuda said, I can't say historically that we haven't, but I can say that investigations are ongoing for persons that we know would have triggered criminal acts externally from inside the prison. In other words, then, I've never heard of anybody who got caught like that and got sentenced based on that. If you do know, then leave a comment in the comment section below. I don't know historically how many have been charged in the facilities, but I know of ongoing investigations, is what he said. Kartel has apparently beaten correctional oversight to produce dozens of dancehall recordings during his decade in prison. So now them all going like them don't know about none of that. In the most high profile breach was the United States television Fox 5 aired a two-part interview with the incarcerated Kartel. You see? You remember when me telling you say, when he did that interview with Fox 5 and it triggered all those investigations from all different walks of law enforcement entities, is because them pissed. They were pissed that Fox 5, a huge entity from the US journalism media house, was able to access him inside of a Jamaican prison, and the higher ups were not able to stop it. So they are sitting at home like we are, hearing about what goes on in Jamaican prisons from the voice of an incarcerated popular dancehall artist like Vybz Kartel, giving this interview to a US news media. You know how embarrassing that is? Do you know how embarrassing that is to them? That clearly shows that they really don't control the thing. You understand? Or they have no control or little control over the thing. So you know, after that was like the last we heard from Kartel can get moved to somewhere else and under stricter rules, lockdown, all that. Samuda revealed last Thursday that a multi-agency probe was unable to ascertain when the interview was done. You hear me? I tell you no. Embarrassing. A lot of people are saying, boy, Kartel, you throw gasoline in the fire, brother, because your case already in appeal and now you're going to do this Fox 5 interview, yeah, and look ya now. Now they are out to get you. They are out to punish you, silence you for real, for longer. Make that sentence stick. Make your appeal not go through. I want people to understand something. At the Privy Council level, the Privy Council is not looking on the hearsays and what people are saying now. The Privy Council looks specifically on the case that he was tried for. And they look for inconsistencies and they look for faults and violations in the case. And if they do find it, then he could very well be walking out. Remember how confident Vybz Kartel sounded in that Fox 5 interview when he said, I am sure I'm coming out. When him say I'm sure I'm coming out, that offended some people because they're like, what the fuck, how am I talk about him sure him coming out? Boy, we have you, which part we have you? We say if you come out or not, and we saying you're not coming out till we say so. The man said, no, I'm sure I'm coming out. I don't look at it like him bucking the system though. I look at it as a man in a desperate situation that has nothing to lose. What does he have to lose at that point? Them done give him life already. His case done reach all the way to the Privy Council already. So what? To expose more from in the system, inside the system, like a journalist himself on assignment, undercover. Hi! Yo, this what the people have look bad, you know. This is shame in their eye, you know. He said that regardless of the multi-agency probe, they were all these agencies together through investigations, and all of them together were still unable to figure out when the interview with Fox 5 was actually done. All right. We can't say on which device, We continue to monitor the space, and those who have had interactions with him around whatever time, they are also being closely monitored. But in a Gleaner interview in August, Kartel's attorney, Isaac Buchanan, said that the entertainer did the jailhouse interview while he was at a St. Catherine-based correctional facility. Those are my instructions. His phone was confiscated and he was moved to one of those nice $55 million state-of-the-art facility in Horizon, where they had monitored him by military. This is what Buchanan told the newspaper in August. Samuda said that steps were now being made to tackle the issue and to mitigate the impact that phones and other devices were having in the correctional facilities. Okay. On one hand, the good citizen in me wants to say if the money or the behind bars I use phone for call, hits and all these things is something that needs to stop immediately. On the other hand, I have to say, we don't want no more lives lost this way. It's a way to quell the murders that's going on. But at the same time, it was also a way for Vybz Kartel to get his story out. A drowning man grab at straws and leaves. Even though the leaf can't hold you up out of the water, but these are desperate times. Samuda said that the steps were not being made to tackle the issue. The steps were now being made, to tackle the issue and to mitigate the impact that these phones have in these correctional facilities. Samuda said that in a matter of weeks, the government will take legislation to Parliament to make it a criminal offense for persons to provide phones to convicted offenders. That means if you are found bringing in contraband, providing a phone would probably be like a first-class felony now. So you yourself are going to prison if you are found to have provided an inmate with a phone. I just saw what I hope to be the final draft, and I will go to the National Security Council and the Cabinet for approval. The Cabinet Minister noted that he made this commitment sometime mid last year and was now on the last lap to complete the draft law. Samuda made it clear that the proposed new law would punish both those who smuggle phones and other contrabands into the correctional center. Well, let's be fair. You see, in the United States of America, if you're caught doing that, it's a felony and you're going to end up in prison, period. So I'm wondering how now they have to make this a law. Wasn't it always a law? Or are we that far behind? He said that the authorities had stepped up searches in the correctional facilities and they have confiscated more than 2,000 items over the last 12 months alone, up to 1,200 for the corresponding period year before. So contraband is coming in at a heavy rate and they all are saying they don't know how and them can't stitch up the whole them. Yeah, it's kind of like those big rotted guns that are coming into Jamaica, AK-47 with long dung bent up banana clip and all that, and none of them know how these things make it into the country, right? We're going to throw the bodies at the problem until we have the technology, Samuda said. He also said that the appropriate scanners, phone jammers and cameras would now be installed across the correctional facilities. In one state, I must say that Jamaica is pretty young, so Jamaica has to catch up to the developing world and all these fancy technologies and stuff that they have. Phone jammers. That's why nowadays if you walk into certain buildings or as soon as you hit their parking lot, you notice your phone start jam up. You can't send a picture, you can't send a simple message, your messages start coming in slow. The closer you get to these buildings until you get inside these buildings, your phone stop work. I know for a fact that Walmart does it in the United States of America, and they started doing it because their employees used to be on the clock but be on their personal devices at the same time. So they installed these jammers so your phone can't work while you are at work. But now this technology has carried over into the prisons. So even if you get a phone inside of the prison, they're hoping that these jammers will jam the phones and they still will not be able to work. Hear me out. Vybz Kartel never in anything yet until as his appeal comes around. And if, listen to me, if they don't try and convict him of more, their hope is to leave a bad impression with the Privy Council that is currently considering his case for appeal. That this menace to society is guilty of a whole lot more and deserves to be where he is. That's the picture they're planning to send. Alright? Answer also this. How come the same testimony that convicted Tesha Miller did not convict Blackman? Me still want to know that. Because it was one of their informants that gave the information that Tesha ordered the hit and Blackman was the trigger man. So how did Blackman get a life sentence for ordering the hit? But the person who actually went and pulled the trigger, allegedly, according to this testimony, was able to get off and walk free. Talk up, because I know something. I know that when they're after who they want, they leave no stones unturned to get them right where they want them at. Alright? Youths, be wise. Them a play chess, we don't know. This is not checkers. Alright? And we will follow the story some more. Leave your comments in the comment section below. It's SouFLoTV. Things that get sticky. Let's see where this goes. I'm out. Peace.